Hey guys, did you know that midlife is actually a superpower? Yes, guys, midlife is actually a superpower. I'm going to break that down to you guys in this video. I'm going to explain to you the transition that happens, the 7 things that happens that causes it to become a superpower. Midlife is actually a superpower. Let's just jump on into this. But first of all, let me mention this, guys. You probably have already noticed that midlife changes you. It actually does. You've been tested. You are battle tested. And you're definitely wearing that cape right now because you've seen some things in life. You know how to navigate certain things in life, and you just don't have time to debate with others because you've actually lived the life. You've lived a lot of things, right? But why is it so powerful? You may be wondering. That's the title of this video. There are 7 things, guys, that happens during this transition. You don't necessarily see it happening overnight, but once you start to look back like, oh my God, she is absolutely right. There are 7 things that happens. So now I'm in my midlife. I see, like I said, you're battle tested, right? The first transition you've probably noticed, or you're actually noticing, or you will eventually notice, is discernment. Basically in youth, we ignore a lot of red flags, right? Because we have certain goals in life, and sometimes we feel like, okay, I can ignore that red flag because it won't happen to me, or I know how to navigate around it. But when we get to this age, we see those red flags. That causes us to think about other things like, okay, I'm seeing this now. How, will it, turn out to be something different later on? For instance, let's say, of course, you recognize patterns faster. So let's say you are in midlife and you want to get married. Maybe you've been married before, never been married. Just basically you just want to get married. But you have to make sure that you married the right person. Let's say you go out on a date with somebody you see, and first, you were attracted to this person, and you've gone on this first date, or maybe it was the 5th date, and you start to see some things like, wait a minute, is this something I'm gonna see more and more if I devote more time to this person? Now, back in the day, you may have just wanted, hey, I want to get married, have some kids and stuff, start my family. But at this age, you don't have time for all those games. You want peace. Remember, peace over drama. This is what we value. We value peace at this age more so than in any age. We value our peace. So you're looking at this, you're like, okay, I'm seeing some red flags. That may be time for you to just back it up and say, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go on and, it's been nice knowing you. We can continue to be friends, but anything a little deeper, probably don't want to do that. So here's the key point with that when I wrote this down. Discernment saves time, energy, and heartbreak. Okay? You already see where this is going. Like, I don't need to devote or invest much of my time in this because I kind of see the pattern where this is going, right? Along those lines, for number 2, what midlife brings to you, because of all of the trials and error in life, you've been on earth for at least 40 years, right? You got to learn some things. You learn how to set boundaries. You know what is right for you, what isn't right for you, what you should invest in, time, money, whatever the case may be, and the things that you should not. Like, no, that seems like it's gonna be something I'm not gonna be happy with. So I'm gonna just leave that alone, right? What I wrote down is that midlife teaches you what you will and will not tolerate. What you will and will not tolerate, right? Boundaries are good because it helps, healthy boundaries, of course. It helps us to maintain, again, our space, our peace, our well-being, right? It's okay to set those boundaries. We don't have to participate in everything because it may hurt someone's feelings when we know it's not the right thing to do. But in midlife, we've learned how to do that, right? That's your key point, is boundaries are self-respect in action. You are respecting yourself. The third one on my list, a reason why midlife is a superpower, is that it helps with emotional regulation. Again, too, we always want some peace over drama. We need our peace, okay? It helps us to think clearer, right? We don't need to react the same way as we used to. Get all emotions all tied into something that is senseless. I notice, and I read this in the news sometimes too, it's road rage, people. Why? Okay, you know what? And we know there's some bad drivers out there. And sometimes of course you have to be careful about, when people are driving, you have to make sure you drive defensively, but there's no need to cuss anybody out if they cut you off. Like, you know what? You wanted to get there faster than me. I was on the road yesterday. Drive. I mean, I wasn't going slow, but I was, going. I'm on the expressway, and I see this car in my rearview mirror. I mean, he's approaching quickly, right? I'm like, okay, I hope he can go around. So I'm just going to maintain my lane. And he whoosh. So when he got to he pulled, got to the right side of me, I slowed up a little bit because I could see a car that was in front of him. I'm going to let him just pass me. There's no need for me to challenge whatever's going on with his life. I don't know what was going on with that person, but it's not for me to figure that part out. That's what I'm saying. So, emotional regulation. And I did. Now, I will say this. I was concerned they were driving really fast, but they really wanted to get in front of me. I let them have it. Okay, right? Yeah, calm is power. I'm working on that. I used to be a little pistol, right? I'm working on that, being calm, not letting a lot of stuff rattle me. Because if I can't control it, why expel all that energy for what? Right? You know what I'm saying? Why even do that? Now, the fourth one on my list, all of this kind of brings all of this together, right? Midlife is a superpower because it brings a lot of clarity, okay? That's what I'm talking about. You kind of know what is right, what is wrong, what you should do, should not do, and you don't make any qualms about it. You hold fast to your beliefs, right? You know what matters. You know what is important. Not necessarily just for you, but just for others as well. You know what's best for them. Yeah, for other people, right? I only listen to sometimes. It's amazing to me. Like I told you guys, I am a college professor, and not necessarily just my students, but I also have children. I have some nieces, mostly nieces and nephews. I got a few nephews, a lot of nieces. Listen to some. I'm not saying they're wrong about anything they're saying, but just kind of listen to their thought process, how they process things and stuff. Not saying, like I said again, not that they're wrong or anyway, but what it tells me when I'm listening to these younger people is, I used to be that kind of person that thought in that type of vein, right? I mean, I've changed. Not necessarily saying it's better, but I do know that with life experiences, you start to look at stuff a little differently, right? So that's what I'm saying. Clarity. You stop chasing things that do not align with your life. Look, I want to enjoy my life. I want to spend as much time as I can with my loved ones. I love traveling with my husband. We just we're planning some more trips. I'm excited about it. I love traveling with him. He loves traveling too. So, right. But clarity changes things. So basically what it does, it helps you to understand what is most important to you and what is least important to you, right? With all that too, with the fifth one on my list, you become more resilient with things, right? You learn how to navigate life through, especially look, at midlife, at this age, we got a couple of generations in this group right here. We got Most of us, including myself, we are Gen X, right? But then we have some, like my husband is actually a baby boomer. So baby boomers are still in their midlives. And so with that, we've seen the incorporation, the acceptance and rejection, acceptance of some devices and technology, others we've rejected, and we've kind of stayed the course. Like, okay, I need to continue to learn how to do things. One of the things that really, I will say, something that happened in one of my classes. This was about 2 years ago, I believe, in one of my psych classes. Generally, I have a lot of young and probably middle-aged people in my class. I occasionally I have somebody that is a senior, and this guy was a smart student, but he was a senior. And I always ask the students first week of class what they expect to learn in this class, what they hope to learn. They'll tell me something about psychology, learn more about me, stuff like that. This man said that he wanted to learn how the young people were learning. That's why he came back to school. See, that's some of that resilience, because he needs to keep up with his grandkids. And I'm like, there you go. So he knew, even though that was in a computer class, the assignments, it's a blended class, so a lot of the assignments are online. So he was forced to learn how to navigate that field, right? And again, too, he was an excellent student, so I was happy to have him in class, right? He showed up pretty much every week, other than I think it was one time, and he told me what was going on, which I thought was just very kind of him, right? So also with that resilience, I wrote down some things too. The reason why we become so resilient is that we've experienced a lot of things that happens in life, good and bad. We've learned how to survive. We've experienced loss. A lot of us have. I mean, I'm no exception to the rule. I already know, some loss hit you differently than others, and you learn to try to pick up the pieces and live, not necessarily without them, but just live, according to their memory. Try to reflect on how they would do things and hoping that you're continuing to make them proud, right? We've experienced some grief, whether it's losing a loved one or losing a job, losing a pet. My baby is up here, my prize kitty cat. She was my superstar because she used to do ads here in Atlanta, so her little picture was plastered all over the place. That was my girl. We may have experienced betrayal. I'm no exception to that either, right? But we learn how to reinvent ourselves is what we do. We learn how to reflect on what went right, what went wrong, where can I, what lesson can I take from this and move forward? Because we continue to do that. But the key point I wrote here is that strength is often born through survival, and it is absolutely true. Once you survive something, it becomes ingrained in your memory, and you kind of know how to navigate the world. You navigate it a little differently. And that's one of the reasons why my husband and I love to travel, is because we want to enjoy this earth while we are able to do so. Because we both have witnessed the death of both of our parents. So all four of them are gone, and other things that's going on too, things that we've survived, he more so than me, with his health crises and stuff. And so we've kind of learned how to navigate a lot of stuff. So the other one, because of all of this that we've learned in life, the stuff we've had to endure, our travels in life, whether it's going to work or actually going on a trip. We've learned how to navigate the world. We've learned how to make sure that we have our physiological needs taken care of, and learn what is important, what isn't important, right? Because number 6, all of that, it leads to this one. It gives us freedom from approval. I told my daughter today that I'm planning a 2-week trip. I'll let you guys know about that. I think I'm gonna do a vlog for that one. I should have done a vlog for this last trip we did. It was 18 days, 7 destinations. I may even do a video about that. But the thing is that we're not looking for approval from anybody. So I shared that with her. She was giving me her input. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is what we're doing. I didn't ask for your approval. I was just letting you know these are our plans, because I'm not living for your opinion. I've already told you what my opinion is. I'm just letting you know these are the things your dad and I are about to do. I'm less concerned about fitting. Actually, for me, I've always been that way. I don't really spend much time on, I need to get this person's good graces and stuff like that. Here's how I see things, and I don't, everybody's different. Like, you have to accept me for who I am. I'm going to be who I am. And one of the things that I will not do is chase the approval of someone with a bad disposition. That's what I'm not going to do, or have bad intentions. Now, I am going to be gracious to you. I'm always that way, But if you show me a different side of you, I'm not going to go on my way to be gracious anymore. I mean, I'll speak to you. But to, plan time to spend with people that are just nasty to you, I mean, you got to think about that kind of stuff. Like, is that something you really want to spend your time doing? Because I want to enjoy my life. Like I said, my dog is right. He's always near me. My dog is here. The cat is doing whatever he wants to do. The cat is kind of bossy. My husband is upstairs getting dressed because we're about to go to my brother's birthday party, my youngest brother. So I wanted to get these videos done before the party. This will air after the party, but I'm filming it right now, right? Because the thing is, here's the key point for number 6 is that freedom is one of midlife's greatest gifts. It absolutely is. Like, you're free to do what you want to do, as long as you're not out here committing crimes, right? Don't go out and do that kind of stuff. But when you're free to do things that make you happy. Like today, I wanted to share with you guys. I've been so excited. One of the earlier videos, probably 2 months ago, I mentioned that I was going to start focusing more on my physical health, and I have. And I was on a cruise. We did 2 cruises recently. They were kind of back to back in between Key West, and so I made sure I go to the gym. I went to the gym almost every day, and so when I got back home, I made sure to join a gym, and I'm seeing some results, and I'm so excited. But today was the first day I wasn't able to go to the gym. My daughter wanted to go hiking. So I went hiking with her, but that was fine. I still, felt the exercise. So sometimes it's like, as long as you can get something in, right? But I'm going to do a video about that. I've been taking pictures, so I'll show the before and the after, right? And we'll see. I still got a ways to go. Still working on my stomach, but we'll see how it goes. And all of that, all those other things, guys, I wanted to share is that it brings, I've said this word several times, peace over performance. Guys, we just want some peace. I just want some peace, right? I don't know about you. I just want some peace. In younger years, we perform. We want to stand there, hey, look at me. But right now, I just want some peace over drama. That's all, right? I want peace in my relationships, my solitude, and saying no. Right? My son, I don't want to talk about that. I love him that way. He's learning, because I want him to be a little bit more independent, right? So guys, what I want you guys to understand is we may think, especially when we turn 40, I know how I feel like, oh Lord, Let me wrap my mind around that. I'm 40 years old. Are you kidding me? And then I turned 50. I'm like, okay, we're going the wrong direction, right? But understand that midlife is not decline. It's a revelation. You kind of understand, like, wait a minute. Oh, I wish things were actually this clear back in the day. I would have made some of the decisions I made, right? It's okay. We live and we learn, and we don't, that's all we can do, right? So guys, what I want you guys to do, and first of all, let me say this before I get into that. For all of my subscribers, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We are truly growing. And I know I'm quirky, but I say, hey, I can only be who I am. This is who I am, right? But I do have a lot of knowledge about psychology. I've studied it for a while. I teach it, and I am a doc. I have a PhD in psychology, and I did counsel for a moment too, but I don't do that anymore. I'm more so into positive psychology, helping people reach their goals and stuff of that nature. So I don't have to counsel for that. But guys, what I want you to know is that I really appreciate you guys being on this journey with me. Thank you so much. Tell your friends you can share these videos. You don't have to ask me permission. Please do so. If you feel like it'll help others, it's fine with me. Even if they don't agree with what I have to say, that's okay. I like to hear, because there's some things I may not be aware of. I don't know it all. I will be the first to admit, no, I don't. But what I would love for you to do, guys, if you are feeling this message, right, type power up in the comment section. And if you've yet to do so, I would love a like and subscribe. As always on this channel, just kind of keep in mind too that every Sunday at 5, a new video drops. Every Sunday at 5. And all throughout the week, there are little, little snippets that will drop all throughout the weeks about the video itself, right? But the big one always comes out Sundays at 5 Eastern time, right? And in closing on this channel, we say that we are aging boldly. You guys have a good one.